Let's read this first story. We had this from the Daily Mail. Louisville Democratic candidate for mayor shot at in attempted assassination at his office, but escapes uninjured. Cops probe whether politician was targeted because he is Jewish. Now, that's the gist of the story. They say that someone fired at the campaign office. This candidate Craig Greenberg had his clothing grazed by the bullet. Fortunately, everybody is safe. And this may not be anything other than a crazy person because we don't know yet. However, I believe there was a member of the city council who said this was an assassination attempt. So apparently somebody has been taken into custody. The investigation is ongoing. There's concerns here because as things get more and more intense in the culture war and with, conflict between Trump, with the Durham investigation, with the January 6th committee, people become less and less trusting. So some feel like maybe this is just some mayor of a city in the U.S., not even one of the biggest cities, but a big city for sure. It's a big city. And it's just a publicity stunt or, a false flag or some other, whatever. But I don't know. I don't fall into those. I genuinely think that you've got a lot of people out there. A lot of people. Some of those people are crazy. And some of those people can be driven to extreme acts because they're unwell. So I'll just say this. I hope this is it. I hope there's nothing more to this. But the reason I think this story was important to lead with was as we get more and more news about the political conflict, escalation, Adam Kinzinger just came out last week and said targeted assassinations are coming if there's going to be a new civil war. And then he said to Wolf Blitzer, I think it was Blitzer on CNN, that we would be naive not to think a civil war was coming. Of course, it's a trope at this point, Tim Pool mentioning it, because I've been talking about it for some time. But when I see a story like this, after Kinzinger says targeted assassinations, and then a Democrat candidate gets shot at, I'm kind of like, was he right?
Yeah, are we on our way? I mean, we should be able to all universally condemn this, right, and say this is, it's a terrible act, and we're happy that no lives were lost. But I do think you're smart to say let's not jump into speculation too much because we don't know all of the facts. But yeah, a terrible action. Glad the person was caught, right? You said that they had caught the person. A suspect was caught, and that's important, right? It looks like the cops did their job, so that's good. But
it could be nothing. It's someone matching a description, and for all we know, they're like, it was some random guy.
The fact that it's a mayoral race just leads me to believe it could just be random. And the fact that they're just speculating, saying it could be because he's Jewish, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought maybe it could be mob related, like he owed somebody money. There's so many ifs.
See, that seems like more of a reach than
mob related.
Yeah.
I don't know. A guy borrows money to try and win a campaign, and then he's not paying up, or he's, here you go. Yeah. He borrows money now that he's in the race, and he has a change of heart, and he says, I can't go through with this. The people need me. And then they're like, if you back out on us, we're coming for you. See that? But I agree. That sounds crazy. Like, what's the scary thing is a political assassination seems to me to be the most plausible outcome. Yeah. That somebody is just like the Democrats are crazy and awful and something like that.
It's really a testament to humanity because you're right. It's not like that's hard. It's like driving. Every day we drive these 2,000-pound things past each other at 100 miles an hour and just
you be driving
car after car. Well, 50 miles in both directions. So it's like car after car after car, and we just trust. And we live in trust, and we don't veer over and ram. But you could. That's the crazy thing is people could. It's easy to fail in reality and easy to go haywire. It's challenging, but we do it so well. We stay on the level so well.
I don't believe any of the false flag stuff. A lot of people think, well, I'll say this first. Assassination attempts really, really help candidates. It's kind of creepy and awful that it's the case. But it rallies people. You get a victim narrative. So I think for that reason, people would suspect a politician of trying to stage something like this to generate press. But I just really don't think, it is like winning the lottery 10 times in a row. Yeah. To get the circumstances where a politician's going to be like, okay, after you shoot me, like, nah, this guy, the bullet grazed his clothing. I don't think this guy wanted it. I don't even like entertaining the idea, but there are people who absolutely are curious about whether they trust them or not. But I'll add one more thing. That's kind of how crazy it is politically that people would assume a politician would actually stage something like that.
Yeah, but let's not forget one of the most famous attempted assassinations of all time which was the assassination attempt on Reagan, was because the guy was genuinely crazy and he wanted to impress Jodie Foster.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, Reagan was just the target because that's who Jodie Foster would be impressed at. I don't know if she was. I don't think she was ever asked as a follow-up, like, hey, did you
I
get
think
the
she
guy's
was.
number?
I
She
didn't
was.
know that
Probably
was
maybe
the
she was.
reason.
Maybe she was like, hey, cool, give me a call. Obviously,
pretty
that's not what happened.
Impressed, but not the kind of
No, I'm-
impression you want to make.
So, I mean, it could be something like, sadly, there are a lot of crazy people in the world. You
I'm
know?
pretty sure Jodie Foster has been asked about that. It was the Hinckley thing, right?
Yeah, and I think she was like 18 at the time also, which is even weird.
No.
Like she was...
No, I think she was like, wasn't she like 12?
She even younger. Yeah, like
Yeah.
imagine this poor
Yeah, you
kid.
wanna pull that one up.
Like you're like a... I knew she was very... My point was that she's young.
Yeah.
And it's like, gosh, how,
It was like
how
he-
traumatizing for this poor
She was
young...
born in 62. When was he shot? 82?
81, I believe.
So she would have been 19,
Oh, okay.
18, 19, something like that.
Okay, so you were right.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
still,
absolutely.
she's a very young person. And so there are just crazy people in the world. But
Yep.
glad the mayor is, or the mayoral candidate is okay.
She was 12 when she was in Taxi. That might
That's
have
what it was.
Taxi
yeah.
driver, right?
And I guess he saw the movie or something. But yeah, I mean,
Do you think it has significance that this took place in Louisville? Because I know there was a lot of unrest there in the summer of 2020 because of Breonna Taylor, right?
Yeah.
That was my first thought. I was like, Louisville, that's really interesting. But I don't know.
I
That
did
could be
kind of think about that because I
Yeah.
was like, what if this happened in a different city? Like, if this happened in Chicago, I wouldn't even think this
Right,
was
exactly.
assassination.
Yeah.
It would just be a random shooting.
It's another day.
oh, it's really dark when we're laughing at that.
I know. Like as soon as I started
But
laughing,
if it
I'm
was
like,
in a
that's-
different city, I would have been
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
might not be
yeah.
politically motivated.
For the sake of definition, what's the difference between attempted murder and attempted assassination? Like, where does it become no longer considered murder? Now
How
it's
how
considered
important are you?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a public official or something?
It's kind of crazy that it's that way.
Sad.
Like nobody assassinates a plumber.
Yeah.
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Oh,
Terrible,
exactly.
I know.
a competing plumber company.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Shout out to all the plumbers out
But
there.
as soon as the plumber announces, like, actually, it's really weird, isn't it? If there was a guy, he's a plumber, right? And he's like, look, man, I'm just here to fix the pipes. And then one day he goes outside and he goes, we got to change the pipes in these town. And I'm going to do everything we can to change these pipes. And then someone shoots him. Like, I guess what makes an assassination is if it was in direct opposition to your work in changing something about the public.
Yeah, that's the first definition.
I think it is. Yeah, and isn't assassination like the murder of someone because of their office?
Yeah.
And not just the
Yeah.
murder because of their personhood, but because of their agency.
Yeah, but didn't John Lennon get assassinated?
Yeah, but they think that was political
Or is
too
that-
because he
did
was
we
so
say
anti-war.
assassination of John Lennon, or did we
think
say the
so.
murder?
I
Murder?
don't know.
That's a good point.
Maybe the
That's a good
Beatles
question.
just defy all definitions,
Yeah.
and therefore,
Yeah, John was like Gandhi. Like he had that kind of political power.
yeah.
I mean, he was very active in anti-Vietnam War stuff. I mean, he was very influential. So
And his wife was an amazing singer.
Oh,
Still
yeah,
is.
she amazing.
Still is.
Yeah.
Still is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that
That's the one person that should be pulling their music from Spotify.
Yeah, she should not be on
Yoko.
Spotify. She shouldn't be anywhere.
I don't know, dude.
Neil Young's back on Spotify.
Yeah.
No,
No.
let me admit it. He's not back on, but a bunch of his music is still on and will never come off because he'd already signed the rights over for compilations and stuff to a bunch of the hits.
Interesting. I didn't realize that.
It's all one big joke. It just feels like it's all fake. But I guess the scary thing is, politics is pop culture. You know, so I've been talking about this for a while. We, as you know, as we're looking to expand and do more other kinds of content and books, it really is like everything's political. Eminem took a knee at the Super Bowl and everyone's saying it's political, and some people are like, you don't even know why he took a knee. Like he may have just been bowing or something, but just by getting on his knee and like, and then like, what did he do? Put his hand on his face or something? Everyone's like, he took a knee for Black Lives Matter or something. And like,
It was Sunday. Maybe he was nailing
Yeah,
down in
it's
prayer,
religious.
you know? I mean, he's a religious person. I don't know what his reasons
I
were.
just think it was funny. That was the one white dude.
Yeah,
That
it's true. It's true.
the one white guy kneels, no one else does.
Like
that's
that
white
guy.
liberals for you.
Yeah.
But maybe it wasn't political. The thing is, the fact that everybody assumed it is, you know, politics is pop culture. So I wonder if when you see a story like this about a Democratic mayor or a Democratic candidate, it only happened because this is what's in the forefront of everyone's minds.
Yeah.
If they were talking about, you know, a movie or a band like John Lennon, like maybe just crazy people are seeing someone on the TV and they're like, he's beaming thoughts in my head. And so they
Yeah.
go out and go after him. And if the crazy people don't hear about any of these people, they don't do it. With politics being so paramount to everything now, more crazy people, you know, might see these people on TV and then target them, and it could be completely not political.
I was thinking, as a species, I think we've lost our childlike innocence now that we have the internet and we're able to examine ourselves so well. We're no longer this innocent humanity that we were 100 years ago. Now, we've lost
wait,
it.
Wait.
But what we've also seemed to lost a lot of loss has gone to our childlike curiosity, which we need as a species. We need to
Ian,
retain that.
What do you think people were like a couple hundred years ago?
They just lived in this ignorant allowance of like, let daddy lead the way and we'll support our guy. And now everyone's like active. Well, not everyone, but people are like hyper aware of what's going on.
Everyone my age is an activist, or activist,
Yeah.
People are hyper aware.
Bro, back in the day, people like they lived and breathed their politics because there was very few people.
They did, but they didn't see it like we get to see it. They weren't able to like listen to the president talk.
Right. Isn't that crazy? Like 1700s, you'd be like chilling on your farm and a mail carrier would come with a letter and the letter's like, the president said these things 3 months ago. And you're like, well, how about that?
Yeah. nothing
Like
changed.
imagine getting a letter and it's like, Joe Biden announced he's taxing you. He said this 3 months ago. It's already been passed by Congress. You owe us $10. And you're going to be like, wait, what? Nobody told me that.
Yeah.
And then you'd be bound by it.
Yeah, and I think expediency is what the internet has changed, and that's a podcast in and of itself, right? But what has it done to society? The ability to know things in the immediate and the impatience people have for not knowing something right now. Yeah, I think that's what's changed society.
When you measure heat, if heat transfer happens really, really, really fast, it gets hotter. And so if information is downloaded into your brain really, really, really fast, that might be creating some sort of friction.
That's a good way to think about it.
It is.
It's like if you're driving your car and you're slamming the gas, your car can overheat. You got to let up the gas a little bit so it doesn't get too hot. If people are absorbing too much information in terms of politics and culture, people start to overheat and there's no cooling off period. People need to get time to chill, but it's endless, and then people snap. Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to watch live, you can check out this channel Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Now, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you want more unfiltered and uncensored content with all of these guests, go to timcast.com and become a member. All of these guests you know and love in exclusive segments on our website where we are unrestricted in what we talk about, so you'll definitely not want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all next time.